my QuickBooks file is slowing down. Do I need to leave QuickBooks for a more sophisticated solution? So obviously, that is a question that has to end up with a yes or no answer, but I can't do that without additional information. So what I'm going to provide is the framework that will help you make a decision about whether or not you have to leave QuickBooks for a more sophisticated solution because your file is slowing down. So first of all, we're going to separate the two issues here. There's the file slowdown and there's the more sophisticated solution. QuickBooks is packed full of features, and there's QuickBooks Pro, QuickBooks Premier, and QuickBooks Enterprise. Some of the things that cause a file to slow down is if the list elements are too many, and you might need to upgrade from Pro or Premier to Enterprise, at which point your file will instantly be working just fine, and you can stay with the familiar QuickBooks interface and not have to move to a different interface altogether with a dramatically and radically different, what do I click on and how does it work and where do I go? So there's an increased cost for moving from Pro or Premier to Enterprise, but it can be a quick fix for a file that's operating too slowly because there are too many items in the list. Something else that you might want to look at is your file size. Is your file slowing down because the file size is too large? So again, that could have to do with upgrading to Enterprise, because Enterprise can not only have longer lists, but a larger file size before it starts slowing down. So we're talking about number of transactions in the file. Along those lines, something else that sometimes slows down a file is because the file size and the number of transactions has something to do with file size. If you do a file condense, that could help keep you in the QuickBooks environment and not having to move to a more sophisticated solution, as you put it. So you can still keep a copy of the file with all the details, but you can do a file condense as of a certain date, let's say 2-3 years ago, for example. And QuickBooks will summarize in an annual journal entry everything that happened that year. So you can have annual financial statements. However, all of the details will be gone from the individual transactions. That will also put you in a position of being able to manually delete customer names or donor names or vendor names or employee names from those lists and dramatically shorten those lists, because if those customers or donors or vendors or employees are no longer with your organization, then now with all of those detailed transactions gone, you can delete those names from the list and dramatically shorten your lists as well. So it's possible that a file condense can help you save money and time from having to go to a different solution. The second issue that I hear is a more sophisticated solution. Now that's an entirely different matter. There's a lot that QuickBooks can do that a lot of people don't know that it can do. So it's possible that you can get a lot more use out of your current file by learning more about what it does, or by having your accounting team learn more about what it does, or by getting in a new accounting team that already knows more about what it can do for you. So that is something that is worth considering. And one other thing that could cause your file to slow down is the hardware. It could be no problem with the file at all, but if you're on hardware that, let's say, lacks memory or lacks processing speed, and that actually could have an impact on the speed of your file. And if that's having an impact on your business, then consider reaching out to, if you have an IT department, reach out to them. If you don't, consider an outsourced IT solution, whether it's a one-time fix, like let's say you need a new server, or if it's ongoing maintenance to help keep your hardware healthy, then you might consider reaching out to an outsourced IT solution, or an outsourced IT consultant or an outsourced IT team for that. There are, however, sometimes you do get to a limit of what QuickBooks is capable of. For example, if you need additional reporting dimensions, you might want to move to something like Intact. If you want a point of sale system that doesn't integrate with QuickBooks, that has features that QuickBooks point of sale lacks, you might want to move to a different accounting platform that supports that kind of point of sale usage. So just remember to separate these two issues between the file operating speed and the sophistication of the accounting system as far as the features.